Hello, hello. This is Sports Updates 411. You can also find me on Twitch on Play to Greats. I recreate just kind of older, past, previous, um, popular sport games, and I recreate the final score. Like what I'm doing currently right now is MLB 24, and I recreate some games in that season. And then I have NBA 2023, and I recreate games in that season. So find me out on that. This, let's see. This video, well, not really video, this podcast episode is who is going to win their division, what I think on NFL. So let's kind of just go through the list. So we have the AFC East, which has Buffalo, we have Miami, we have New York Jets, and we have New England Patriots. So, the Patriots and the Jets, they're pretty much toast. I mean, even if they won every game, considering now, they would just end up in the even record. And when you have Buffalo, who's already 9-2, I really think they're going to take the division. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer for the AFC East. So that is who I think is going to win that division, is the Bills. Then we have AFC North, which has the Steelers, the Ravens, the Bengals, and the Browns. So the Browns, I think the Browns are already eliminated, aren't they? I'm not sure. I don't even think they put out if they're eliminated quite yet because it's only 10 games. But they're 2-8, so they're kind of lost for this season. The Bengals, same. I mean, Burrow's throwing a pretty good season. I mean, I think he's first. And hold on one sec. Yeah, he's first in QBR, 76.1. So, and he's first in yards, and he's first in touchdowns. So touchdowns, he has 27. In yards, he has 3,028. So he's throwing, to be honest, my opinion, he's throwing phenomenal. It's really just everything else that's making that team lose. Then we have the Ravens. I mean, the Ravens do so well. They almost win their division every year, ever since, they've had that QB, Jackson. But they just somehow fail when it comes into the playoffs. So I'm actually going to go out on my limb and say the Steelers are going to win this division. Only because the Steelers did recently face the Ravens and they beat them. So, and they're on a 5-game win streak. So I'm going to say the Steelers are going to take the AFC North. Then we have the AFC South, which has Jacksonville Jaguars. I'll get into what a sob story that is. Titans, the Colts, and then we have the Texans. So the Jaguars, I actually was very interested in this team last year, even coming into this year. Trevor Lawrence, I watched him all throughout college ball, and it was, he's a great quarterback. But that team is just garbage this year. I mean, they're not doing very well. They're 2-9, already out of playoffs no matter what. Same with the Titans, who are 2-8. The Colts, I mean, they're 5-6. Houston has kind of lost some big games because they're 7-4. But I'm still, just because of the Colts' quarterback kind of situation with Flacco. Is Flacco going to play? Is Anthony Richardson going to play? Who knows? But I'm going to call them to be out, or even maybe possibly if they show their stuff, they could maybe get a playoff spot, but I doubt it. So I'm going to say the Texans are going to take that one. Then we have the AFC West, which has the recently beaten Kansas City Chiefs, because they were undefeated up until last week, who they lost against Buffalo. Man, such a great division here, but obviously, so that we have the Chiefs, we have the Chargers, we have the Broncos, and we have the Raiders. Raiders 2-8, they're already out for the season. Broncos, they're kind of a mystery team right now. Same with the Chargers. I mean, I think one of them are going to hold a playoff spot, but with the Chiefs 9-1, I mean, let's just say I'd like it if, just because Jim Harbaugh, I followed him, at Michigan, what he did there, and then also in the 49ers for years, but I think he's a good coach, and I honestly think that the Chargers are going to win this division. I really think the Chiefs are going to lose. I don't think this was just one loss fluke. I don't think they're going to do win 3 Super Bowls in a row. I really don't, but we'll see. I'm going to go out on my limb and say the Chargers are going to win that division. All right, so that is the AFC. So I picked the Bills in the East, Steelers in the North, Texans in the South, Chargers in the West. Now we have the NFC, which the NFC East, I don't even know if I'm going to even go by stats or a gut feeling, but the NFC East has the Eagles, the Chargers, not the Chargers, the Commanders, the Cowboys, and the Giants. So the Giants are really toast for the season. They just benched their quarterback, and they're kind of going through their backup and their backup. So Giants are out. Cowboys, don't even get me started. Dak Prescott's out for the season, and I don't really see them getting many more wins, so they're out. I'm going to put the Commanders at winning this division. I know they just lost to Philly. I know they just lost to the Eagles, so they would have to, really win in their division. But I really think they can beat Philly. And Philly, really, they start strong usually, and they, I don't know. They have won their last 6 games in a row, but I don't think it's going to last very long. I think that team is just, I don't know. Hurts is kind of unexplainable some games. Some games he runs and he throws amazingly, and some games he doesn't. So that's who I'm picking. Obviously, I think the Eagles are going to take a wild card spot, but yeah, I don't think they're going to beat their division. All right, NFC North. And just because of the Commanders, I like the Jaden Daniels. I watched him all throughout college, and I really think he's a great quarterback. All right, NFC North. We have the Lions, we have the Vikings, we have the Packers, and we have the Bears. So another sad story for this is the Bears. They started out really strong with, who is that? Caleb Williams, that new quarterback there. And they've just been losing. They lost the last 4 games. They fired their offensive coordinator, or was it their head coach? No, I think it's their offensive coordinator they fired. All right. This is a tough division because they all have pretty good records besides the Bears. Packers are 7-3. Vikings are 8-2, and Lions are 9-1. So I know it's kind of, a given that you just pick the top person, but I really think the Lions I'm going to pick. And I'll tell you why. Jared Goff has probably one of the best percentage at pass completions that I've ever seen. Most of his games, if he throws any picks, except I think that one game that there was so many interceptions. I can't remember what game that there was. It was the Lions and was it Tampa Bay? I can't remember, but the game was ridiculous how many interceptions on both sides there was. But the Lions have only lost 1 game. They have a wonderful coach. They have a great defense and offense, to be honest. I've seen multiple games where Goff has maybe missed 1 pass. So a lot of hype for the Vikings. I really liked, that they were going to get J.J. McCarthy, and then he had to, what was it, an ACL sprain or something he got, like the first game he was in preseason. I wouldn't even have started him. So they got Sam Donald, I think is his name. He's been throwing great, but I mean he has great receivers. He has a great running game there. I think they're going to get a wild card spot, but I think Lions are going to take the division here. All right, here we go. NFC South. We have the Falcons, we have the Buccaneers, we have the Saints, and we have the Panthers. Panthers, another terrible year for them. They honestly started playing Dalton, their backup, because they just can't get anything with, what was their quarterback? Bryce Young, yeah, and he was like a number one pick, I think, a couple years ago. I don't know if they're going to trade him or what, but they need to do something for their next season because they're not doing very good. I mean, they have won the last 2 games, but I mean, they were 1-7. Now they're 3-7. Saints, pretty crappy for Carr because I really think he could have driven that team to have a better record than this, but he got hurt. So I don't really think they're going to be in. Buccaneers, it kind of stinks for them because they've lost the last 4 games and they start out really strong. This division is kind of up in the air, but I really think the Buccaneers are going to turn it around, and I think the Falcons are actually going to go down. Even though I really like, the offense in that team. I like Kirk Cousins, Michael Penix Jr. It's just a sad division. I think the Bucs are going to take it. And we come down to NFC West, where we have the Cardinals, where we have the Rams, the Seahawks, and the 49ers. I mean, Cardinals have won the last 4 games in a row. I mean, they're looking like the top prospect for this division. But this division, to be honest, I think is the only division where I just don't really see a good choice here. I mean, I could even choose the 49ers, who are in last place, because they just got McCaffrey back, and, who knows, the running game could exponentially get better. Seahawks, I mean, really the only losses they have are really kind of close games. They have Smith. I really think they should build a better offense maybe in the years to come. They just got a new, head coach. The Rams, I don't really think so. I don't think the Rams are going to do much. I think Matthew Stafford, I think he's done. But that's just for me. Good offensive line there. But the Cardinals, I mean, Murray, you just never know with him. And then you also have, don't they have a new receiver? Yeah, Marvin Harris Jr. I mean, he was from Ohio State, and he was one of the top prospects. So I'm going to choose the Cardinals to take that. I'm not going to do my Super Bowls picks yet, but those are my picks for AFC and NFC to win the division. So catch me later at my next sports updates, and have a great rest of your week.